Southeast Nigeria is on the brink of an export revolution. The much-anticipated Export Business Roundtable, SouthEast 2025, has redefined the path to global trade, unlocking new opportunities for businesses across the region. Brought to you by Agbata News Media, this is an exclusive highlight of the landmark event that is set to double exports from Southeast Nigeria. The Enugu Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture was a hub of activity from February 19 to 22nd as industry giants, policymakers and entrepreneurs gathered under the theme Southeast Nigeria's Export Future, Trends, Opportunities and Challenges. The event kicked off with a powerful keynote speech by Mrs. Nonye Ayeni, the Executive Director, CEO of the Nigerian Export Promotion Council, NAPC, who underscored the urgent need for increased non-oil exports.
The United Nations Conference for Trade and Development, UNCTAD, Handbooks of Statistics 2023, put the global merchandise export at $24.3 trillion in 2022. Of this figure, Africa's total export was $665 billion. That's just 2.67%. While Nigeria, a country in Africa's total export of merchandise was $63 billion, that is 0.25% of all total export. So this is about how for South Africa's total merchandise of $123 billion same year. Of the 63 billion merchandise export recorded in Nigeria, the non-oil export was mainly 4.56 billion in 2023.
According to her, Nigeria's non-oil export earnings have grown from $4.56 billion in 2022 to $5.4 billion in 2024. But Southeast Nigeria has the potential to contribute even more.
Through concerted effort of the Council and other stakeholders, the exporters, and other players in the value chain, in 2024, the non-oil export volume moved up by 20.77% to $5.4 billion. I thought we should clap for that. That's a 20.7% increase over and above what we did as a country for non-oil export in 2023. 44 solid minerals, and is available in commercial quantity across various regions of this country. We're a blessed nation, a blessed country.
Key industry players took center stage, addressing critical barriers such as logistics, financing, market access, and product compliance. Professor John Isemede emphasized the importance of business formalization and packaging standards to meet international trade requirements.
Export product, what is this? Which company can I identify it to? No. This is why you have rejections. Is that not? So what gives a product the premium price is not just the product itself. It is the packaging and the traceability. So if I have problem with this water and I take it back to the company, they can deny. The only thing that can protect me is this. How many people can interpret this? So when you put shea butter in a carton, don't label. And when you are getting apple and the pineapple and all that in this country, they are labeled. You can trace it back to the country, from the country to the farm, and the farm to the tree, which is not. So we have a good job to do.
Dr. Henry Emejuo outlined the role of African Continental Free Trade Area (ALCFTA) in scaling up intra-African exports.
In what? In African Agenda 2063. It's an important pillar. And then that pillar said that the Africa we want. Can we say the Africa we want? Agenda 60 2063 of African Union, he said one critical pillar is what African Continental Free Trade Area. And the agenda is saying this is Africa we want. And then the Southeast, which Africa do you want? I will just ask us. Is it that the Africa that the Southeast play an important role? Or is it Southeast that Africa is leaving behind? Remember, very industrious, hard-working people. Hard-working. Business-minded. Entrepreneurial. These are the issues. These are the issues. Then when you look at it, the core objective of African Continental Free Trade Area is to create a single market. Just like my brother John Esmede said, free does not really mean that it is free. There are processes and there are steps for you to follow to be able to go through this free trade area agreement. The core objective is to do what? Is to have one African market where me and you will play. It's just like a wet market where everybody goes to play. Everybody goes to buy and sell. And then when you look at it, the key objectives is to increase intra-African trade. As of today, intra-African trade is about 15%. 15% intra-African trade. What we mean intra-African trade is when we sell business, a Nigerian and a Ghanaian do business is within Africa. We say that for these things to happen, about 15%. Let's compare that to what is happening in Asia. 65%. Asia among themselves, they trade more than among ourselves. 65%. Europe is about 65% or something like that. And then the Americans do about 45% trade among themselves. Do you know what trade means? Trade means trust. I trust you, I will do business with you. Can we say that Africans who don't trust ourselves, that we can't do business with ourselves? Very hypothetical question. You may answer. Yes. So, the agenda said that we need to increase this 15% to how many percent you decide. But you know, in this meeting today, if you have your phone, you can just say hashtag double your export, double our export. I don't know if you have your phone. See, do hashtag we want to double our export. Hashtag double your export. NBC. Yes. Hashtag double your export. Your phone. That's why the main issue in Africa.
Dr. Onyinye Queen Okpa, the visionary co-host, introduced carbon credit trading as an untapped opportunity for agribusiness exporters.
Nigeria will get it right. Yes. I am very much convinced in my spirit that once we get it right, so whatever it is that you want to discuss, come. Like I said, if you want to have your certificate for any EPC, come. If you want to register a company, come. If you have a product that needs international standardization, come. If you're having issues with NAFDAC, come. If it's custom, come. Because this region must get export right. Yes, we must get it right. For some time, our company, we've been doing free export seminars. No government pays us. For me, I am convinced, like what we said earlier, that once we get it right, everything will fall into place. So what I want to talk about, meanwhile, our company, we have a Nigeria Port Authority registered export terminal.
So, and we know that part of the businesses, if people, and then we have an NEPC, domestic export warehouse license for Southeast region. But are you putting down a project of over 2 billion in Southeast when nobody is doing export? It doesn't make sense. So we must drive the business first. Then we put in place everything that the business needs to do and strive in the region. So our Southeasterners, thank God, all these speakers you see, I thank all of you. They all had the same vision. Our speakers, they were not even paid a dime. But it is the passion for the region to grow. That's why all of them flew down. Some from Abuja. Dr. Henry here came from Rwanda. That's where his headquarters is. They all flew down. They did not take 1 hour to fly down to this place. So you that came, just maybe you're just in the South region, you can imagine people coming from different locations. Most of them. Because of time, I'm not going to run through it. But what I want to talk about is this. Carbon credit from farm to foreign exchange. See, some of the things we do destroy the environment. Climate change refers to long-term shifts in global or regional climate patterns due to human activities. When you burn things, when you use certain kind of chemicals, anything you do that destroys the environment, anything. So it has been discovered. This topic, I had to change this topic last minute because, like in the Bible, they say there's somebody that John the Baptist came before Jesus. So, I'm the John the Baptist here. There's a speaker that is coming behind me that I needed to quickly do this carbon credit so that when he can talk or when he's talking, everything flows. Do you understand? So, there are ways you can make money in dollars that is not just goods and services. Carbon credit is when you take care of the environment. The way you cultivate your land, the way you treat the environment, when you have cultivated, do you use herbicides? Do you use pesticides and all that? So if you use our olden days, our olden ways of doing farming, organic farming, I am trying to let you know that there are certain things you do, especially when it comes to farming, that you earn what they call carbon credit. And there are certain plants you plant that will make you earn carbon credit. So you're not just chopping the money you're making from the products you're planting, but you're making money for planting those products and for the method that you used. Am I making sense? Okay. So this carbon credit we're saying, if you're able to, even the livestock, the way you do your poultry, the way you handle your livestock, your goats, your cattle, if you use the olden conservative method of farming to do all these things, you earn what we call carbon credit. And that carbon credit is traded in dollars. It's like having stock. It's like having stock. So if you plant yam and you planted it the normal olden conservative way of planting, you did not use artificial fertilizer, you use normal compost. You use the olden way, the weeding. You weed the normal way and do all those things the olden way of doing things. Because you're trying to preserve the environment, you earn what they call carbon credit. And this thing I'm telling you is traded in dollars. It's traded in dollars and it's not hard. There's a process. There's a process to it and it's not a hard process. And this thing I'm telling you is that this carbon good thing. You're eating your food that you have planted or you're exporting it, or you're earning carbon credit. And this carbon credit, if you're registered and you're verified, people buy the dollars. You trade it, just like you trade stock. For a ton, you can pay between $5 to $30. By the time you multiply it, it's a lot of money.
We developed a unique model. We call it the missions, community, diaspora, private-public partnership architecture. The missions means involving the church. Community means involving the town union leadership and the people. Diaspora means, let me tell you, the greatest export we have in Nigeria, our diasporas. In 2007, I was the head of investment bank in one of the banks. I worked with some of the Igbo diasporas. Let me tell you, one of them, a medical doctor in South Africa, the guy earns $250,000 net every year. What of cocoa value chain? A ton of cocoa is selling for $11,000 now. In Cocoa Research Institute in Ibadan, we have a species that can begin to fruit in 24 months. Are you aware that Michael Amadi 6,000 hectares of cocoa in 1965? The Southeast, from Abia to Ebonyi to Akwa Ibom, to that across River State.
Mr. Prince Sahid Lasisi of Nigerian Aviation Handling Company, NACO PLC, ably represented by Mr. Oluwole Olalandu, General Manager, Cargo Services, discussed the need for export aggregation to enhance supply chain efficiency.
I want to hear what you are saying. Doctor has said it at our office. Oh, we will aggregate. We will provide you certain volumes. But again, I need to ask if you are serious. We have heard her, but the commitment is going to come from you in this room. That commitment is what we can take to move from the current narrow body to the wide body that you need. We can even facilitate what they call charters. It will be a freighter coming directly, pick up the 40 tons twice, once, 3 times in a week. Last week, we were in a discussion with a company. They are finalizing a freighter for us. The thing will be operating between the UK, Nigeria, and West Africa. But what was it based on? Last year, we firmed up volumes for them. Once the volumes can be guaranteed, this issue of are you serious? Dr. Quinn has spoken on your behalf, but until we hear from you, NACO is not committing resources to this thing.
The discussions were backed by global trade insights, with Africa's total exports valued at $665 billion, but intra-African trade still lagging at 15%. Experts agree that with the right policies, this can double in the next decade. When Southeast Nigeria gets exports right, Nigeria gets it right. Dr. Queen Okpa. From strategic partnerships to real-time export registrations, participants left with actionable insights to scale their businesses. The event closed with a call to action.
So once we get Akanibiam running, I think the region would, only the vegetables from this region is enough to keep the region running. So we're working on that, and they are here to give us the promise. Thank you very much.
Add value to our raw materials that nature and God has blessed us with. Add value to them, package them right, and then export them to different countries. So when we talk about add value, why should we even add value to these raw materials before exporting? First is, you get an increased revenue and more profitability when you added value before you export. For instance, maybe a ton of exporting a ton of cocoa bean. It will cost you maybe 15 million naira to export a ton of cocoa bean out of Nigeria to anywhere. But when you process them into packaged products like chocolate, cocoa powder, and add so many other ingredients to it, maybe chocolate drink or flavored drink with cocoa as the main agricultural commodity used in processing.
From Chief Ifed Okwena, Ugumba Nnewi South, urging stakeholders to leverage regional resources for sustainable exports.
Stimulating export business in our region is a program which time is now. At no time do we need increased foreign exchange into the Southeast. I'm happy when the ED was speaking. He found the need for us to quickly build that partnership, because that's the only way we can move. Two is establish true partnership and collaboration with participating stakeholders, a private sector-led special purpose vehicle to drive business and investment promotion. Because if you say we want to form cluster, the cluster must be built around an SPV that will drive this. Three is to create a Southeast Enterprise Promotion Agency to stimulate establishments, skill development, capacity building, innovation, fund syndication, and market access for MSMEs, startups, and corporate businesses in this export business. So they are the ones that facilitate all the logistics to make sure the goods will move from point A to point B. So what we do is to make sure you have the market to sell your wares. After the market, you're looking for international buyers. We're going to give you practical steps on how to get it done. Now, for example, I know people sell in Alibaba. Now, for you to list your product on Alibaba, you have to be able to pay $3,000 minimum for you to have a store on Alibaba. But what we are providing for you here is FOC. It's a platform that was created that is reaching almost every nation in the world, and you can have your products listed there and get instant inquiries. Okay, now this is our platform where you can upload your products and get instant access to the international market, to a greater global community. What we've created, you know, Africa has a very massive market, and as one of the speakers said here, everyone is coming to Africa to source for products.
Now everybody is running helter-skelter because Trump has said, let's make America great again. Today we decided to have our own. Let's make Africa great again. And you know, if you're making Africa great again, you start from yourself.
Sure.
Charity begins at home.
Absolutely.
So as a proud Igbo woman, I have to start
From Southeast. Well, this is a Herculean task, looking at the bottlenecks in Southeast in terms of insecurity, which is also an issue, bordering on all this as a factor. Yes. Then the policy of the Southeast region. So one of the speakers mentioned about the business policy. How do you intend to scale through?
You know what I know is this. In the Bible, they talked about the joy that the woman kept knocking. Every day she was knocking. The Bible said that to the point that she even vexed the spirit of the. He said, "Let me just settle this woman." You understand what I'm saying? By the time we get to that, there's no way the person will not listen to you.
That's right. Okay. Tell us, people are asking about services apart from products. How do they promote their services on your platform?
We also have a section for that as well. We also have another platform called Africa Lands where we also promote services. And we also promote services on Wigmore Wholesale as well. Yes. So I don't know if how to put this, you know. I wish I could show you guys like the link where you can go and see the details. Yeah. So Wigmore Wholesale is there, Africa Land is also there. These are the two platforms where you go.
What's the safety measure? What's the safety measure and the security level of your platforms?
We have different ways where we've been able to provide a security for both the seller and the buyer. Yeah, we have what they call I don't know what they call it. It's a payment system whereby we can take payment and hold on escrow. So we have escrow whereby we hold payment either from the buyer and then from the seller, from the buyer. So once the seller confirms, when the buyer confirms
the product,
to him, then we can release the funds to him.
Wow, this is global.
Yes.
Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it.
So we're doing the SouthEast Business Roundtable, Export Business Roundtable in collaboration with BBC Express and Nigeria Export Promotion Council. So it's been a wonderful event for those in exports, those that are aspiring to become exporters, those that have started exporting but they want to scale their export business. So export journey. So it's been a wonderful experience hosting this event here in SouthEast. Because a lot of times we're in Lagos, Abuja, in Port Harcourt, doing exports, aggregating products and services and shipping out. And our Southeastern people seem to be, a bit underreported in terms of the export activities they do. So having this kind of forum in Southeast is a good privilege and opportunity for those in the Southeastern axis to join the export initiative that we have going on in the Southwestern.
Do you have confidence that it's yielding fruits already?
So pulling all the kind of speakers that we brought here today, like for instance, I came from Lagos. A number of us came from Lagos to Enugu, and some came from Abuja and all that. It's clear passion and enthusiasm. We are passionate about the export industry in the Southeast, and having the Southeast also join forces with us and move the export industry together ahead and go above and beyond only. So it's an opportunity and a privilege, and also a thing of passion for the guest speakers that all came and the special guest of honor. They love the Southeast region and they want the Southeast to carry that on, to also be part of the journey. So that's why we are here. We're also bringing them together, bringing people all the way from Lagos, from Abuja, leaving their countries and their office schedule to come, and it can only be a thing of passion and enthusiasm that will drag them out of the region to another region to propel exports and economic development. So that's it. So from all what has been discussed today, it's been tremendous, and of course, definitely we're heading somewhere with it. It's not going to be, because talk is cheap actually, so it's not going to be all talk. Remember one of the speakers said, not talk, it's not talk, yeah. I mean, implementation. I always say something, it's not enough to gather two people together to host events, to take nice pictures and all that. It is important to scale after the event. What's the implementation plan? What are the things we discussed here today? So there's actually an action plan that we laid out, and from this forum that we had, the next level is to implement all the things we discussed here today.
Such a wonderful thing is happening in the east of the Niger. For us in Sterling, our job is simple. We have had privileges of driving export business across board for more than 15 years now, and we continue to do. We also have arrays of products that we'll be using to support our clients, even practicing exporters and potential clients. Very importantly, I would like us to know that one of the things we have done that distinguishes us from other commercial banks is that we have been able to map out a large chunk of our funding portfolio to support exporters. We are not just saying it. For the past 10-15 years, like I said, we have also been partnering with NEPC.
Our mandate is in formulas to promote, to develop, to incentivize, and to assist export-oriented industries. So having said that, what are we trying to do? We're trying to build the capacity of exporters and people, players in the value chain, to open their mindset, open their horizon, to see the potentials and the resources that we have in Nigeria. We have so much, especially in the Southeast, from palm oil to cassava, to cashew, to vegetable. It holds the key to unlock economic growth in the market. So the essence of this is to open our minds. Let us see the resources we have. Let us begin to harness these opportunities. Let us begin to be a part of export value chain. And together, if we work together, working with Nigerian Export Promotion Council and other stakeholders, we should be able to double our effort. And we should also be able to reach the various countries. Let me also say that last year, we exported 245 pigs and poultry to 426 countries. We need to open the world again. But we need to scale up production. We need to increase, we need to do value addition. It's only when you add value that you can earn for your advertising.
year Southeast 2025 has set the stage for a paradigm shift in the region's export industry with committed stakeholders, digital trade solutions, and policy advocacy. Southeast Nigeria is poised to become a major player in global exports.